but a lot outside of Atlanta, you're back in Georgia. But I say that again for some of y'all. When you step outside of Atlanta, you're back in Georgia. But in Atlanta, we have everything we need, and we've got to find a way to connect the dots. So I'm really pushing, and I wouldn't be half of who I am if it wasn't for Dr. C.T. Biggie, for Dr. Joseph F. Lowry, Rita Samuels, Thomas W. Dortch. If it wasn't from James Orange, it's some people who really invest in it, and it's our time now to invest in our young people like 10. So we've got to find a way, Lance, how we take this conversation and move it forward, not just to have this video today, but how do we help it and move this thing forward?
Thanks so much. Is it on? Okay. I'd like to actually comment on something that you said. I'm Alan Hill, and we've Lift Every Vote and Rise. It's an initiative. Some of you may have seen our publications in your driveway over the last couple of elections. It is privately funded. To date, over the last 2 years, we have actually printed close to over 400,000 pieces of content and material to advocate, to educate, and to inform voters. So one of the things that poet over there, Hank, said so eloquently, is finding that middle gap, finding that way to get the information to people. Lift Every Vote and Rise. I'd like you to go to the website, lifteveryvoteandrise.com. When you receive emails or you receive information from some of my business partners out here, we consider politics to be good business. The same way Georgia Power drops in they don't have to advertise. They say, we're supporting the environment, we're supporting water, we're doing this. That's what we like some of our businesses to do. George Green, the super lawyer, took on a large portion in this last election with us. And he asked people to use your superpower and vote. He didn't ask you to come and bring his car accident to you. He said, use your superpower and vote. But one of the things that I want to make sure that I discuss about our voters' guides and our publications, a lot of people think just because you see information on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, that's factual. And it's not. I attended 2 rallies over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not going to say which 2, but I will say this much. Every party said something about the other party. That was clearly not true. So one of the things, even in my last editorial, and I hate to say it this way, but I said it very simply, stop pissing on my head and calling it rain. Tell me the facts. We need to know what is coming to our community. Don't leave us out. And so one of the initiatives of Lift Every Vote and Rise is we're bringing that information to you, documented, printed. Writers, elected officials, educators, they are putting their time and effort into creating some of this information so that we understand to become an informed voter. That is the most important thing. It's not we secured the border. That's not an answer. What are you going to do for us in 4 years? Well, we're going to cap it. We're going to make sure we cap insulin. But you know what? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, if you would have made sure that there wasn't food deserts, that you were teaching dietary information in the schools, we wouldn't have to be capping insulin because we wouldn't have that problem with diabetes.
Thank you very much. If I see 2 people in the back, but I want to take a point of personal privilege, right? I'm a speaker. I'm a politician. And when these brothers get up here, I feel competitive. I got to put my card out there too. Because you ain't gonna come on my stage But this is what I want to say. I do want us to keep a focus on the prize, but I want to tell you about the plan. See, the plan didn't start in 2024, it didn't start in 2025. People don't understand that. The plan started in 1908. When you had John Liston Dobbs on that train recruiting black porters to come move to Atlanta. So much so by 1943, Mayor Hartsfield put Buckhead, annexed Buckhead in Atlanta to dilute the black vote. So much so that Maynard Jackson, John Wesley Dobbs' grandson, became the first black mayor of a major city since Reconstruction. There's a plan to this. So, brother, I'm saying this to you, I'm saying this to the old and the new. You've got to respect the plan. The plan works so well, so now you have black elected officials as far south as Henry County, all the way to Gwinnett County. But black elected officials have to know the plan. Maynard Jackson was persecuted because he wanted 35% black minority participation in contracts. $12 billion are controlled by black people in metropolitan Atlanta. That is enough money that you ain't got to worry about bad schools, police shooting you, hospitals. That's the plan. Barack Obama didn't get that without C.T. Vivian. And Kamala Harris is a part of the plan. It's the plan, State Representative Miller. So when it's my fault you don't know the plan. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I got to tell you the plan. Because here, look, just seriously, I'm not the first to go to college. My grandmama went to college. You understand what I'm saying? But it's our fault that we've allowed hip-hop to define black manhood as being uneducated. You understand what I'm saying? So the plan is for us to galvanize and get everybody to go support our sister. Because who gonna listen to you more? That yellow 45 or a sister that pledged AKA? You can't tell me she not black and she didn't pledge AKA and Mecca chapter in the 80s. Now some of y'all know something about Greek life. You know what that means, right? Come on, Mecca Howard. That's what I'm telling you. That's the plan. I'm gonna say this, I love John Lewis, but John Lewis had bumped his head when he was supporting Hillary Clinton. When you'd have got your head busted to the white meat at the Edis Pettis Bridge because we could have an opportunity to have Barack Obama. And then the people told him, John, you better get it right, as you're not gonna be there anymore. And John said, this man came out of nowhere because he was the plan that started with John Wesley Dobbs in 1908. So my brother, I want you to use your sphere of influence because it's powerful. But manhood is not about money, it's about strength of character and understanding what the plan is. That's what the plan is. So everybody, I charge you, get out there, understand the plan, because when we having a picnic at the White House, who gonna invite you? Kamala or that other dude? Brother, tell me what you got.
Thank you so much for what you're saying. I think the reason why Tim is taking in so much oxygen in this room is because he spoke directly to the issue. And what we fall into the cataclysm of doing often is we talk around the issue. I got a 31-year-old son who thinks exactly like you do. The previous administration was able to buy a whole generation of voters for $1,200. They bought a whole generation for $1,200 because they went directly to the issue. But what we don't understand is we're not teaching our people civics. The president can't give you a check for anything. Period. He's the executive branch. Our generations do not understand civics. And it's our fault that they don't understand civics. The president can't give you a check for $1,200. He can only request it. It's the Congress that has the power of the purse. And we gotta teach our young people civics. We have a Democratic Congress. And let me say one last thing that's very inflammatory. The two parties are not the same. There's imperfection everywhere, but the two parties are not the same. There is one party fighting for the people. Just one. Imperfections and all. There's one party fighting for the people. And it is not the previous administration. It's this one. And all you got to do is look at what they've done. The previous administration had 3 shots at the Supreme Court. Who did they choose? Who did they choose? Heritage Foundation. The new administration that we're under now had one shot at the Supreme Court. Who did they pick? How are you going to make an equivocation there? There's no equivocation. There's one party fighting for us. Imperfect and all. There's one party that gave us health care. One party trying to take it away. The number one most significant legislation in the last decade is health care. And if you chase it back, the reason why the United States of America is the only industrialized country in the world that doesn't have national health care is because they're trying to keep minorities unhealthy. Go do your research. It was a plan. Barack Obama came in guns blazing to get one piece of legislation done because it's the singular most important legislation we've ever had in our lifetime. He had control of the House and the Senate. He paid a price for it. He paid a price. That's why we lost the House after that midterm, because we're too stupid. I'm gonna call it what it is. We're too damn stupid to understand civics. You gotta have the mayors, the aldermen, the local, the councilmen, the governors, the school board, the House of Representatives. We need judges. My God, the reason why marijuana is not free in Georgia is because we got a Republican House, Republican Senate, Republican governor. They don't want it. They want us locked up. It's big business. Prison is a for-profit industry. They get paid per bed. When we have our babies, they start counting them in the prison population. I can talk about this crap all day.
We got one brother who had his hands up, this with the yellow shirt. Come on up, brother.
Can I say something before y'all? I understand, like, the big topic I feel like that was out there was Trump's name, but at the end of the day, when y'all getting y'all point across, how can we walk out this door and go with y'all? Without, you know what I'm saying? Without, we have to clear our name first. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a fair opportunity, is what I'm saying. We hearing everything y'all saying. At the end of the day, we can walk out here and we going home because we can't vote. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't vote. So how can y'all change? How can y'all get that to Kamala? Or, you know what I'm saying? How can y'all, fine. You know what I'm saying? Or how can y'all get that information out? Because all of us, like you said, his son, we all deal with that. Like, a lot of us made one mistake, and we can't do it no more. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? It's over with. We walk around, we're failing. We can't get jobs because we're failing. They're gonna do a background check on us. We can't go to the poll. We can't walk out here. We can do so much rallying with y'all right now. We can caca, he, but we can't walk in there with y'all and push that button on that machine.
So we need to talk about that.
How y'all doing today? Again, I'm Paul Hobson, and I'm also an educator as well. How you doing, Shiv? I know Shivi. I think your grandfather might have been a board at Clarkland University. Was that your father? Your father, okay. I remember hearing that name, but good to meet you as well. My concern, it seems like education is the main thing that we're lacking as far as knowing what's going on. And I think that we can't just put everything on the teachers. We can't put everything on the schools. We also have to hold each other accountable and educate, again, like you said, educate us all on what's going on. Because again, and even if we do rely on education, we have to have strategy in how to implement those in the curriculum. Like as far as maybe going to the state houses, going to the Georgia State House and implementing bills to get those bills to pass. And it seems like we're not really being organized in how to get things passed. So I think we're kind of always going around in circles because, again, we have a strategy for every 4 years, and then after that we kind of fall off by the wayside. And so I think we got to have a whole holistic way of strategy in order to get things passed. And also accountability. Once these folks get elected, who's holding them accountable? Who's going to these meetings to make sure that they're doing the things that we need to do? And it seems like once they're elected, we don't really hear anything. No one's going out to those offices. So I guess my question is, what strategies do we plan moving forward into this election and even after the election is over with?
That's a great question. All right, so what I want to do. Go ahead.
Instead of them giving
the brother, so we're gonna have the brother with the hat. We got the question about strategies, but I would like to hear from a sister. And so, if nobody volunteers, I want our state rep, Tanya Miller, to come over and give us some words too. But Brother, did you want to answer his question about strategy, or you had another question?
All of the above, I can handle.
Very good. What's your name?
My name is Scotty Smart. I'm a community activist and organizer. I organize Black men around political education in the state of Georgia. But our conversation about strategy has to be more than a surface level conversation. Our political education has to be more than a federal level conversation. But our conversation has to be more than a federal level conversation about what we want. Things that we have to be able to understand are issue-based things. Remove the candidates, remove the parties, understand what issues affect you directly. Like you talked about, convicted felons. Now, when we think about this, right, the VP pick who just was selected in Minnesota, they've allowed convicted felons to vote. So we get into a point of a process. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be able to connect the dots on what we need. See right here, when I see rooms like this, we have to be able to take the data. I can't let y'all leave out this room without giving y'all contact information, right? But we gotta be able to talk about, what do Black men care about? Do we care about criminal justice reform? Do we care about affordable housing, ending police brutality, reproductive rights, health care, better job opportunities, youth opportunities and education? Let's look at the issues and then figure out the candidate from the issue. Forget the party lines, figure out the issue, right? And then we have to be able to understand whose job it is to do what with the issue, right? Because right now we're talking about the election, but if you're not paying attention, the Republican Party is at the state capitol the last 2 days, and they're taking away the ability to certify the election in the state of Georgia right now. So they will not be, so right now the fix is in. They're going to try to not certify this election come November by the laws they changed yesterday because you're not paying attention, right? So when we talk about a plan, are you going to be there at the legislative session when January hits off? See, in the state of Georgia, most people don't know this. A legislative session takes place from January to March, 40 days and 40 nights. All the laws that are voted on there go into place July 1st. So within the last month, we got a new set of laws for the state of Georgia. But we don't understand the process. See, we have to understand there's 159 counties. They're all differently ran. There's 535 cities. They all have different run. But the thing that we feel hopeless about voting is we see the big federal election is 300 million voting. There's people who are mayors in the state of Georgia with less than 1,000 votes. And Metro Atlanta, right? So therefore, but when we look at any other turnout outside of a presidential election, it's less than 20%. So are we engaging in the process to create change? Are we at the level where we can say, I've been there at the city council meeting? Have you sat in a county commissioner meeting? Have you been to the school board meeting to see how they are voting on the laws that directly affect you? So if you are here tonight and you don't have a political home and you don't have places to come, you have to galvanize the truth. Everyone here took the time to be here tonight. That's the impressive part. Y'all care enough to be here in this space. Now it's up to leadership to give you direction because you care enough to be in this space, right? And so we as leaders have to be able to galvanize the troops, give them direction, and be able to show them wins. Because if I tell you in Camilla, Georgia last year, we had a 24-year-old man run for city council. He won by 8 votes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8 of y'all right here. He got in office. Corey Morgan turned around and wrote the decrim bill for $35 in Camilla, Georgia, the lowest in the state. So everybody that lives within that 5,000 residents of Camilla, Georgia, now if you're pulled over, it's only a $35 ticket instead of the $75 one that's here in the city of Atlanta, which is progress. But in the entire state, we only have 20 cities that have decriminalized, right? So that's my fight. I work with New Georgia Project. Our fight is the spread of marijuana opportunities and knowledge everywhere. So we're fighting to get equity in the marijuana industry because just like yourself, I'm on probation for a weed charge. I'm an avid smoker. And I'm gonna come and be myself all the time because I know I am the black man that they're afraid of. I played baseball at Adams Park. I went to Budge Middle School. This is where I grew up at. I'm gonna always give back to this community right here. This is home for me. But my job is to educate us and to be able to understand, to follow the political process, to be able to say, hey, these things are taking place. The reason why they just changed the African American Studies thing this week is because we went viral for it, talking about it on our social media platforms, and then holding a press conference about it and holding elected officials accountable. And those weren't even elected officials. That was a whole board, but we have to understand the entire process. So it's more than just a surface level conversation about federal government. I need you to understand who your state representative is. I need you to understand who your county commissioner is, and specifically who your city council is, because those are your voices for you and your community. Don't tell me you care about who runs this country if you don't know who runs your community.
That's right. Thank you, brother. We're gonna close this out. There are two people we're gonna talk to. We're gonna talk to State Representative Tanya Miller, and then we're gonna have State Representative Derek Jackson tell us what the plan is. And I'm gonna tell you, I represent all Black folks south of I-20. I may serve in East Point, but if you call me, we're gonna solve your problems. And Lance Robinson decriminalized marijuana at East Point when he was on the city council. Yes, he did.
175,000.
Real quick, my brothers, I came here to listen. I have absolutely nothing to say except to hear your beautiful, strong Black voices. I did want to interject one thing just to make sure that we are all clear on this very important topic, which is a passion of mine. A civil rights lawyer, criminal defense lawyer, you can vote if you've had 10 felonies. If you off paper. So one of the things I think, to echo my brother Scotty's point, yes, is impact, and there's so many organizations, Georgia Justice Project, so many organizations out there that are trying to educate our community about this very important thing. All you have to do if you're off paper, that means no probation, no parole, is register. Register to vote. That is what is so beautiful and hidden. Somebody is waving back there. It looks like we got some folks ready to register, some folks back there. But please, guys, let's spread this truth, not misinformation. If you are a convicted felon, you are not precluded from voting. You are precluded from voting while you are on paper or under sentence. Once that sentence is over, you can register to vote. That's all I have to say.
That's a good segue, Tanya. Thank you, Tanya. Got the microphone. Please raise your hand if you know Keith Gamage. Please raise your hand if you know Keith Gamage. So that means if your hands are not raised, you need to know who Keith Gamage is. See, because Keith Gamage is our Solicitor General, and he conducts an expungement every year. Every year. So we got to do our part, ladies and gentlemen, in spreading that word, because the first time Keith did it, I think it was about 6 years ago, man, the line was wrapped around the building. With the exception of during COVID, that line has decreased. So the word is getting out, but because we all did not raise our hand, that means there's much more work to do, Tim, right? That's the first thing. Before I give my closing remarks, as my good brother asked me to do, let me just say these three things first. Because we often have to ask the question, how did we get here? How did we get here, ladies and gentlemen? Well, the first reason why the reason why we got here, because Shivy made the point, but let me just make it a little bit more plain. We're comfortable. We are comfortable. That's the reason why we do a phenomenal job registering folks. Helen Butler, Deborah Scott, and the Divine Nine, the non-Divine Nine, right? We do a phenomenal job registering folks. But 4 years ago, 700,000 Black and brown folks in Georgia, registered voters, did not vote. So when people say, Derek, you all live in a red state. No, we don't. I refuse. Because Stacey lost by 300,000 votes. So even if half of that 700,000 would have voted, you would not have Brian Kemp. Who talking about? You wouldn't have Brian Kemp. But we're comfortable. You don't need pain on your doorstep to realize the part that you play in individually, and then realize we are collectively going to be impacted. We got to get out of this comfort zone. And if you know anything about history, let's go back to Reconstruction period. I know this is not a history lesson, but during those 14 years during Reconstruction is the reason why we got land grants, the reason why we got HBCUs, because there were 700,000, so a coincidence, black men who were voting versus 600,000 white men voting. It was only 1.3 million folks voting back during Reconstruction. Period. And those who were during that period said, listen, what Abraham Lincoln did in 1862 in April did the first reparation. Anybody know, aware of that? Abraham Lincoln did the first reparation. He gave $300 per slave to the slave owners. April 1862. And then Congress said, wait a minute, Abraham Lincoln, we want some of that too. And so 4 months later, the Homestead Act, reparation, they gave out 271 million acres of land, 160 acres per European. Simply all they had to do was live on it and farm it, and that's it. They got 160 acres. So then Frederick Douglass said, wait a minute, you're about to free the slaves, those who look like me. You just did 2 reparations in 1862. So in November of 1862, that's when the language showed up about 40 acres in the mule. But you know what happened? When Congress went back in, they were negotiating, going back and forth. They struck that out. That's the reason why you know something about 40 acres in a mule, and that's the reason why it did not happen. But we were freed still. Okay? And there's a reason why Civics 101 is no longer taught. Because Thomas Jefferson said, in order for this democracy to work, you need an informed electorate. And some of us in this room grew up with Schoolhouse Rock. That was a government program, if you didn't know. But you're not going to find Schoolhouse Rock. That's the reason why we brought Yellow Paint to the Capitol back in June. Remember, Hank? Because Yellow Paint taught our high school students that we brought to the Capitol this past June the fundamentals about civics. But that's by design. This is by design to ban books. There's 4,100 books that are banned. Of the 4,100 books, 90% of them are black. Not in Atlanta. Okay? So here's the plan, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get out of our comfort zone. I know it's time. I know you're tired. I know there's going to be days that you don't want to go to the school board, but he may call you up and say, I need you all. There's an important vote. I need you to show up. Because when you show up, then elected officials, okay, they respond differently when they see you in the audience. Okay? So we got to get out of this comfort zone. That's number one. And then number two, the ladies do a phenomenal job, gentlemen. I got to tell you. These sisters are serious about their business in politics. 98% women vote. Black women, 98%. For black men, it's 87%. Now, 87% ain't bad, but it ain't where we need to be. We need to match it. We need to match it, right? And so the reason why the Montgomery bus boycott worked for 381 days, there's this thing called sacrifice. So we got to get out of our comfort zone, number one, and then sacrifice is number two. Because our ancestors sacrificed so we could come through the front door instead of the back door. So we got to sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen. We got to understand this heat that we're in so we can make sure our young kings and our queens, the next group that's coming up, right? So we got to get out of the comfort zone, and we got to understand it's okay to sacrifice. Because if I sacrifice for my brother, and he sacrificed for me, and I sacrificed for my sister, collectively we win. And that's what we need to do. And the third and final point, the plan that we need Again, it's November 5th. We got to show up. And let me tell you all, the Democratic Party did not ask for Kamala. Let's be honest right now. They were not thinking about Kamala. I'm being honest. But let me tell you what happened. Because see, at 1:30 p.m. on that Sunday, okay, when President Biden decided to step down, 20 minutes later, he endorsed Kamala. But later on that night, 45,000 black women got on a phone call. And they said, this is what we're going to do. See, because they were mentioning some other names. And they did not look like Kamala. And then the very next day, 53,000 of us got on a call. So black people, and we appreciate our coalition, because white women say, oh no, y'all ain't leaving us this time. Because then white women had 160,000 on their call. And then the white dudes said, well, y'all ain't leaving us neither. And then the comics, then the Latino. This energy was organic. It was not by design. This is people power. You always had the power. You have to make sure that you cannot let someone else hijack your narrative. Control your narrative. Control your narrative. And so that is the plan. Get out of our comfort zone, sacrifice, and understand this collective energy. We got to control our narrative, and let's make this thing happen on November 5th.
I want to acknowledge Mayor Reed. You want some words? Good to see you.
You good?
How y'all doing tonight? Man, I feel real good. Ambassador Young called me. He's in some part of Georgia filming a movie. And you all know what Ambassador Young calls. You know what you say. You say absolutely. And he said there were just a group of amazing people. How you doing, Dr. Young, being here tonight? Y'all give it up for Dr. Walter Young. You all, about 23 years ago, there was a place called the World Trade Club. And Ambassador Young called me and he said, man, your Howard sister is gonna be over here tonight. And he said, I want you to come and meet her. And you know when Ambassador Young calls, you come, and Gene Duffy was there, and a whole bunch of Jan Bryson was there that night. And that night, a young assistant DA was running for office, and she came in and she introduced herself, and she said she was from the city of San Francisco, and she needed some help from the city of Atlanta. And that night, people of the city of Atlanta stepped up and helped make her the first black district attorney for the city of San Francisco, which launched her career. So we have a part of this woman. And so the other night in Georgia State University's gymnasium, 23 years later, Dr. Young, we saw the culmination of that night. We saw all that work and all that talent and all that effort come into the city of Atlanta and the state of Georgia. And we saw the fulfillment of the work that started here, the fulfillment of a dream. I'm here tonight because it's right in front of us. Let's say it real plain. It's right in front of us. I'm here tonight because this woman went to Howard University and I've known her the whole time. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Kamala Harris is black. You understand me? From Oakland, California, black. And I'm saying that tonight because when we're in our barbershops and beauty parlors and people start talking out of the side of their necks, you gotta check that. Every opportunity she had in her life, she chose black. Time to go to college, went to Howard University. Time to pledge a sorority pledge, AKA Alpha Chapter. Black. And let everybody know, Kamala Harris is the most qualified person in the presidential campaign right now. How good does she have to be the first DA? How good does she have to be to get elected Attorney General, a race she only won by 25,000 votes? How good does she have to be elected to the United States Senate in the biggest state in the country? Y'all don't get it twisted. California ain't Georgia. California ain't Atlanta. San Francisco is 6% black. The state of California is 13% black. How good does she have to be to win all those races, all those times, black, y'all? So I'm here tonight to remind each and every one of you, check people who talk out of the side of their mouth. Don't let people talk crazy about this black woman. Stand up like a black man. Hey, stick to the facts. Because Donald Trump is trying to flood money into our barbershops and our beauty parlors. But the reason I'm in this JR Cricket tonight with this outstanding group of brothers is it doesn't matter what people say outside, Lance. What matters with black folks is what we say to each other. If a black person tells me you hot, if a black person tells me Kamala's okay, don't listen to that nonsense about her putting massive numbers of black men in jail. Nonsense. But when we hear from outside, y'all, that don't matter. Y'all win races. Rooms like this win races. I've been in rooms with President Barack Obama, many rooms. He got elected because 10s and 20s and 30s of people across thousands of precincts across the United States of America win and vote for him. JR Cricket is on fire and important tonight because it's not the big margins, y'all. It's the 2s and 3s and 4s. It's that checking in the barbershop and beauty parlor. It's the stop the foolishness when you see it because it's right in front of y'all. And brothers, we owe the sisters this. We owe it to them. I'm on TV the other night. They talking about, y'all know we owe it to them. Y'all know. I wouldn't have been married without the sisters, right? You definitely wouldn't have been elected without the sisters with that way we have. We owe them. They on TV the other night interviewing some brother talking about, I don't know if I could be with. What? You got a mama? You got a grandmama? Come on. My grandmama would clean people's houses in Spartanburg, South Carolina, y'all. You think I'm gonna not vote for her with some nonsense? You got a daughter? You got a daughter? Y'all know that when President Barack Obama was president, they went looking for black men. Black men had never been invited to no meetings, got invited to meetings because the president of the United States, the most powerful man on earth, they went looking, hey, come on to this meeting, buddy. Yes. Change the nature of black manhood. Black women, you have paid the ultimate price in the United States of America and are fundamental to holding democracy. We owe it to you. You hear a black man talking crazy, say, shut up, man. You owe me. You owe me. And I'm going to say this and finish, give it to somebody else. Let me tell y'all something. I wrote an op-ed yesterday in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. They asked me why I thought Kamala was going to be president of the United States. Kamala Harris is going to be president of the United States because people like Ambassador Andrew Young, people like Hank Aaron, people like Ambassador Lara, people like Joseph Lara, people like John Lewis, they don't understand. And C.T. Vivian, everybody on that wall, on Dr. Young's office. Let me tell you what they don't understand about Georgia. We know how to vote. We know how to vote. You don't got to drag. We got it. Kamala Harris is going to be elected president of the United States because she is going to win Georgia and Donald Trump is never going to get those 11,000 votes back. Yeah. When Raphael Warnock got elected 3 times in a row in a system that was designed for him to lose. Oh, y'all, everybody knows that runoff for elections are designed for folks to recover and stop black folks. You win the runoff, hey, y'all, hey, it's a runoff. It's a runoff. Raphael Warnock beat it. Then he beat it again. Then he beat it again. What y'all think gonna happen when Kamala Harris is on the ballot? You're gonna have Barack Obama turnout. You're gonna have more than that because of the sisters. The nature of the state of Georgia has changed. And let me finish on one other note. Republicans in Georgia are not like Donald Trump. They don't even like him. This man came into Georgia State University. I'm like, man, did nobody brief this guy? He starts attacking Georgia State University because he saw the president of the university was a black man. So he figured, I'm gonna get some cheap shots off. And he has no idea how many white graduates of Georgia State University have that diploma up on their wall. What were you thinking? And then he goes and attacks Brian Kemp, right? And his wife. And you think they're gonna be for him when they get in the ballot? And then this guy's like a bad cartoon character. Everybody he hugs loses. And all y'all have run for office, so y'all know how we don't like losers. When you lose, don't hug me and put that loser on me. He hugged Herschel Walker. He hugged Herschel. Herschel, strongest man around, got sick and lost. He hugged Kelly Loeffler. She what? Lost. Then he lost. Then he hugged David from a political dynasty in Georgia, and he what? He's at home with us. Y'all, it's right in front of us. And what I want y'all to text to somebody tonight is it all matters. It all matters. It all matters in presidential elections. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Kamala Harris is special. She's been special the whole time. She's into the details. I want y'all to know this. Harry Truman used to say that in the United States of America, there are about 30 or 40,000 people that have the power and the prestige to get their issues handled because they're connected. They can reach out and touch people. But for people who don't have the power and the prestige to reach out and touch people, there's the President of the United States. That's the person who stands up for regular folks. You're never gonna have a better person than Kamala Harris, who when she's in that room and the doors are closed and there are big decisions to be made, she's gonna be thinking about you. She's gonna be thinking about you, and she's gonna be thinking about you. Let's give it up for her, y'all. Yeah. 89 days, baby. Yeah. 89 days, baby. Yeah. 89 days, baby. Man, thank y'all for doing this. My brother, the baddest group, Alfred Shoe, got the baddest videos I've ever seen. Y'all, every time Kamala Harris lands in Atlanta, every time she lands in Georgia, ask anybody who's ever met her at the plane. She breathes a sigh of relief, just like Barack Obama used to do. And when they got off that plane, they would always say, when I get to Atlanta, I just feel better. God bless you all. Thank you for me.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is going to let Dr. USF Salam bless the food. Then we're going to have closing remarks by Lance Robinson, the man who's responsible for all of y'all. Let's give it up to Lance.
So it's a tradition in my house to bless the food this way. We always say we seek refuge in God from the accursed devil. And then we say, in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, bless the person who made it, who bought it, who went to the store for it, for the nourishments of our bodies. Amen and amen. And just quickly, because this brother brother. Real talk. You know what we could do with you, brother? Was it you that said it? Somebody said it. They said, if we show up with one person, they're gonna say, man, get out of here. Imagine if they show up with a whole bunch of tens. 1,000 tens, 10,000 tens, 20,000, 50,000 tens. And guess what we need from him? Never forget, those who are closest to the pain have to have a seat at the table. Because everything that he said should be the issues that we are going to rectify. Thank God, let's eat.
Ashe. I woke up this morning, I had no idea how this day was going to unfold. I had no idea. I just moved with the spirit because I knew that the collective bodies did the best that we could. And I'd like to say 45 years ago, my mother moved back to Georgia. Her first job was at 2289 Cascade Road. She met Dr. Young while he was working on my teeth, invited my mom to the campaign of his brother. The first time I saw a positive role model, Big Apple said, think young. 40 plus years later, I come back to this community with the Southwest Mays High School, come back to the school community, open up a business as an elected official because of the seeds of this man and the spirit, and the collective spirit of our ancestors. In 1994, I jumped on the plane, borrowed the camera, landed in Joburg, South Africa. The day before I got there was a bomb downtown. When I got there, kissed the ground.
Georgia, getting. So that was exciting. That's what just happened. They're about to eat or whatnot. The reason why the video paused is that I had a customer to give me a call. So that probably wouldn't help, finish the video here. But what y'all can do is make sure you subscribe to the channel and stuff like that. Let me know where you're from. It's Little LA Stay Live. I tried to keep my my battery charged up, but that's not the case right now. So what I'm gonna do is try to finish off this video speaking to y'all, see what's going on with y'all. Tap in, hit the like button, share, subscribe. If anybody needs some motivation, you can let me know, and I can start talking about something that could possibly motivate you for today. Off the top of my head, I believe what I just showed you guys was a motivation. Also, definitely, so if you missed this, go ahead and if you missed this, make sure you watch the video again. I'm going to repost it, and I'm going to make sure that I leave a good thumbnail for you guys. Thumbnails will possibly be something like, let me see. Okay, the thumbnail is going to be the actual flyer that allowed me to be here today. Okay, I was invited by the organizer, so I am going to go back in. But when I go back in, I'm probably going to go ahead and put the phone up because it's not fully charged. Hey, can y'all subscribe to the channel just for the support? I'm not political, so everything you just seen, it doesn't have anything to do with me. Basically, I was invited because I used to work for the government, and so I met some people, and hey, they kind of lead me in a direction where I feel that's helpful for me. And sometimes when they're not there to actually guide me, I stray off and do my own thing and support myself, of course, right? So, but they're still showing up and showing out for themselves. And so basically I kind of get around and network. And I need to network with someone tonight. I'm going to make sure that I get their contact information and make sure that they understand who I am before the night is over with. And I need my phone to do that. So thank y'all for joining me. This little LA State Live. Please hit the like button. I only got one like button, but if it's definitely okay that you sit here and watch, but I need y'all support by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel. All right. So basically, no one said anything. No one said anything in the chat, so it's hard for me to understand what it is extra that y'all want me to do. But I just witnessed the former mayor of Atlanta shutting down J.R. Crickets. Y'all need, he shut it down. So y'all need to go ahead and hit that like button. Continue to watch more of my videos. You may see more stuff like this. Of course, I showed y'all in the past plenty of stuff like this. So hey, if I'm invited somewhere, I'm definitely gonna show up. That's how it is. But what I need y'all to do is hit the like button. It seems like y'all just don't have the means of hitting the like button. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. There's no need to sit and watch me if you're not gonna hit the like button. And my phone is going off, so I'm gonna give up on y'all because y'all won't hit the like button. Okay? That's the end of that. Peace.